So how we starting it, Noah? Come on, pressure's on you here.
Okay. Hello, pretty ladies. Nah. Hello. We're doing Don't Die July that Ven here has very kindly named. And we're just basically going to talk about some horror in general and some other things included, whatever involved with that. Do you have anything
Yeah.
you want to say?
Life is a horror story
Hmm.
that we are all living every day.
That's
But-
true.
Yeah, so first thing,
Hmm.
I think, is an acknowledgement that you haven't read enough this year.
Yes. Very true.
And you've put a poll in your Discord, which any book lovers can follow the links that are somewhere, I presume, and join. And there's lots of talks, and occasionally books are involved in those.
Oh, yeah.
Not always. And horror was the winner, which you seemed a little bit surprised at, if I'm honest.
I didn't expect horror to win. I was expecting either fantasy or spice.
Or spicy fantasy,
Yeah.
which is a whole separate thing, as we have discovered.
Yes, because of TikTok.
Not just because of that. So you did that, and because I was bored, I just went, "Can I join in?" Like the excitable child I tend to be when I've had too much sugar.
Yeah, but I appreciate that you're joining in with this.
Yes, and then I did my normal thing of taking over and coming up with lots of ideas and just pelting you with them like stones at a window.
Pleasurable, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you like, then
Being
you
stoned, yes.
You must have had plenty of people crawling through your windows when you were young if you had people throwing stones at them. Anyway. Already, we've gone off topic.
Which is fine.
So, my question is, because you're the horror person,
I wouldn't say I'm a horror person.
out of the two of us,
Okay.
you're the horror person, because let's be honest, I don't read much horror,
That is true.
and just a little bit of background for anyone who doesn't know who I am. I apologise for me in advance. The first book I reviewed was The Troop, which is a horror book that is overrated. And that's what got me into doing all this, and kind of how we ended up working on a lot of this stuff together, because it's your fault, because you lent it me.
It was out of love.
If that's what you call it.
Yeah.
I preferred the other book, but there we go. In fact, I prefer every other book that you've lent me so far.
Oh, that's something.
But that was like the first horror book I'd read for, God, 20 years probably.
Here's the thing. Like, when and what was the first ever horror book that you ever read?
So it would have been in school. Now, this will shock people to know that when I was at school, it wasn't all slate and chalk.
Chalk.
I'm going to see if I can find it, actually.
Hmm.
But I'd have been... God, what year would I have been in? 13?
You would have been
Probably.
13 years old.
I'd have been 13 when I first read a point horror. So I can't see the first one I read, but the one that I see on here that I have read
Hmm.
was The Babysitter by R.L. Stein. Or Stein.
Stein, yeah. Goosebumps,
Stein, yeah.
dude.
Yes, it will be, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I actually want to pick up again, actually, because I want to reread that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I think it was the original copy I had, the original first edition.
Oh, wow.
Because my dad is more of a horror reader than I am, if I'm completely honest. Lifeguard is another one as well, which is a reasonably well-known title. But past that, I never really read horror. It's one of those weird things that, for me, I don't like it specifically as a genre unto itself. I like what it adds to stories in other areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like the horror itself is the subgenre compared to the other,
Yeah, I think it's something that can enhance other stories more than perhaps a lot of other genres do. When you cross over, horror has a tendency to enhance the stories more than other ones do, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily copes as well on its own.
You know what, though? I have to agree with that.
So, but that's because I'm not a massive horror fan. So this me doing this month is to try and get me more into horror.
I don't think it should be something to get you more into. I think it's just trying, like, seeing if you can expand on that and see if there's anything that you can maybe get into of part of like the subgenre of it. Then, do this and fucking enjoy it.
Well, this is true. But what was yours?
See, a lot of kids for me would be like, oh, like Goosebumps and stuff, which I did read a little bit when I was like maybe 12 in like 2002.
I'm dreading where this is going already.
But the first time I actually proper read a horror would be 2009 when I was like 18 going 19 years old, and it was Lovecraft, and it was by pure accident, and that got me into my horror.
Which Lovecraft?
At the Mountains of Madness.
Okay. Now, I have only read one Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm. I made you read it.
I hated it.
Yeah.
For reasons. Don't think I've even put any form of review on that, actually.
You've not?
I can't remember. In fact, no, I have.
Goodreads.
No, it's in my Whistle Stop Roundup that's up there.
Oh, okay.
Does horror work better in a book, on screen, or in a game?
Wait, you asked me if I can pick through one of the main things, like either a book, movie, or game?
Yeah. Of those three, where do you think... Now, okay, I think I might need to... Let me back off from that a little bit.
Okay.
If you were to split horror into subgenres, because, again, you know it better than I do, how would you split it? What would they be?
Oh, do you mean like...
So, like, for example, you have what I call your traditional slasher horror.
Yeah.
Which, on film would be Scream.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
The obvious example, and that sort of goes. You have body horror. You have,
which is Saw.
Yeah, splatterpunk, which is body horror to the extreme, as I've discovered very recently.
Mm-hmm.
But because obviously some bits will work better on certain media than others.
Yeah.
Do you think any fit a certain media better overall than others?
That's really difficult, because if you think... So, let me use Lovecraft as an example, right? A lot of his work is... People try to turn it into, like, little short movies or into a game, and they tend to fall short, because while cosmic horror is a really good thing, like, that's why we've got Aliens, like, that's cosmic horror, putting Lovecraft's work into anything that's not like part of his stories, they don't do well, because his whole thing is the unknown. Like, here's a monster that is just so disgusting that we can't understand it, and that they try to make us understand it by putting it into these other formats.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's difficult.
It's difficult to create the unexplainable.
Exactly. Though they did do really good with The Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage, like 2 years ago, I think it was.
I will take your word for it.
It's very good.
Okay. Maybe that could be a watch along at some point over the next month.
I think that would be a good idea. But I think a lot of things like horrors going into games is very well done. Like, we've got so many horror games. Like, we've got... I don't know if people class this as a horror game, like Phasmophobia. It's updated quite a lot. That's a good, like, horror game. We've got... What's that one where you work on dead bodies?
Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
Starts with an M. Mortician or something like that.
Mortician's Assistant or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that one.
Assistant.
But then you've got things like Dead Space and things like that, and they look amazing and do really well. I think certain horror movies, from the way that growing up, like just to dive into this just a little bit just before we move on, like a lot of horror movies, like growing up and like many years ago, everything was just insinuated and that was scary. While these days we're so used to having that shock and stuff, whatever we see is just like oh, there's a cat scare, oh, there's something else, because we're so used and numb to it. It's difficult.
I mean, you're saying numb to jump scares.
No, I don't like jump scares. I'm saying some things in film are just so overdone and we're so accustomed to them, it can be difficult sometimes.
That's a fair point, which does lead to something else. How many original horror stories do you really think there are?
Not enough.
Not that many, is there?
It's like everything goes in a circle. Like music goes in a circle, fashion goes in a circle, and it's the same for everything else.
The only reason I say that is because you mentioned Alien a second ago.
Yes.
I don't class that as a horror.
Really?
No. That is an example.
I would say that's an atmospheric cosmic horror.
I argue that it's sci-fi with a horror filter.
It's still got horror in it.
A horror filter.
Okay, you can.
You can argue it both ways, to be fair.
Yeah, but I see where you're coming from.
Contentious with it a little bit, but you see, I'm not a massive horror fan. I got put off years ago. Horror from watching a film, and it's not even a bad film.
It's not going to be Masters of the Universe, is it?
That terrified me as a child. But to be fair, have you seen the fantasy films from the 80s? I mean, come on, Nightmare Fuel.
Well, I mean, The Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Skeksis.
There was Critters. I think that was the 80s.
Oh, I loved Critters. I used to scare me, but I like it now.
That terrified me. But then you have Gremlins, which sort of
we love Gremlins.
We do love Gremlins.
That's true.
I've got sidetracked and I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? I'm an old person, I forget. Horror film, right. So, back in, God, when would it have been?
During his age.
2001, so you'd be, what, 10?
10 or 11, yeah.
There were 2 adaptations came out for the same book.
Oh.
And it's House on Haunted Hill.
See, I only know of that because of the Netflix series.
Yes. So, 2 separate books came out.
Right.
Not books, sorry. 2 separate films came out. And one of them, I think, was quite a Disney-fied one, if I remember. I don't remember much about it. The second one had someone stabbed through the neck with pencils. And I went to see it in a cinema that's no longer there now, a proper small cinema with a group of friends, and I nearly collapsed.
Wow.
Because I don't do gore.
That's true.
Makes some of my reading decisions this month
questionable.
Yes. Very, very questionable. But that sort of put me off horror just in general for quite a long time, actually, to be fair, which I think I'm just double checking. Was that just checking who wrote it?
No, because while you're looking that up.
It's Shirley Jackson, I thought it was.
Oh!
So.
Okay.
Yeah, which, although they rearranged the wording of the title, but from The House on Haunted Hill to The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
But because language changes.
That's true.
So as a fan of cosmic horror,
yeah,
where would you start reading it? Because you're going to say Lovecraft, and we're both going to fall out over this.
No, I don't think Lovecraft is a good start. Even though I'm such a huge fan, I'm like, oh my god, people should read it. If you're getting into horror, I don't think Lovecraft is a good start. I think there's something to work into.
Cosmic horror specifically.
Oh, cosmic horror specifically.
I think Beneath the Rising is a good starting point.
So now we are going to fall out.
Horror in general probably is a safer thing because cosmic horror is quite niche.
It is very niche, and not a lot of people like it.
People don't like what they don't know.
That's where the fear stems from, and I'm always down for a little bit of a scare. As long as it's not a jump scare, we're all good.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can blast a scream through the audio right now.
Don't you dare.
Scare commands on?
No, I didn't think about that then. No.
We're not live streaming, so.
No, but it's still connected, but it's not got that bit up, so we're okay.
Good to know.
Just getting into horror, I would say go for a short story. Something with maybe 90 to 150 pages, because they do exist, short stories. You don't have to go for like the old classics or anything like that.
Are the classics worth reading?
It depends, because not a lot of things have aged well. Like Lovecraft, even though I love it, language-wise, there's a barrier there because it's not aged well. Yes. So people will struggle with that, and quite a lot of classics that'll have the same sort of thing.
Something I think we've touched on briefly with me, because I haven't read classics almost universally across the board.
I don't think you would like them, to be honest. It's not your cup of tea.
My issue will always be, and I found this with Your Man some months ago, if a piece of work is almost like a foundational piece of work for whatever the genre is, like Lovecraft is for cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Since that has come out, so many better stories have been told because it's been refined.
Absolutely.
Which is why I have the issue going back, which is why I'll probably never read, and I'll get murdered for this, Dracula or Frankenstein or any of those classics. I will probably never read the modernized English version of them.
I think you'd be okay with Frankenstein's monster.
Possibly.
I don't know if you'll do all the others, though.
No.
Maybe you should start off with Camilla.
Well, despite you spreading lies and treason about me snapping spines on books, which is not true.
It is true.
Don't. Right, it's not true.
I
dog ear
I'm gonna put pictures up when I've edited this. That's a new book.
I've read it.
I know, but it's still new.
You've finished it.
Get one of your old ones.
I mean, to be fair, some of my old ones are as old as you, so they are not going to be in the best condition at this point.
Okay.
I'd have survived moving 7 or 8 times at this point. So I don't snap spines. I don't know where this accusation's come from. I do dog ear books.
I hate that so much.
Maybe I'll put that at the start of all my videos. Just be turning a page on a book and dog earing it, just for horror month. It'll have the same effect.
No, don't do that. Please don't.
So, what have you picked to read, and why have you picked it?
Okay, so the one that I've read a few already. So we've got Ellie Jordan Ghost Trap, which is like a paranormal horror sort of thing. I've read it before. I'm a Ramo? What?
You barking?
Yo. No. Moving on from that comment. Don't be. I've read it before. And I actually really like the style of writing because the pacing for it isn't slow at all, and it holds the creep factor in really well. And the descriptions of a lot of things is really creepy, and the author does it really well.
Happy days.
Then we've gone for The Creeper by A.M. Shine, kind of like a folklore sort of horror. It's the first time I started reading something like that, and I'm actually really enjoying it right now. So the style of writing is pretty good.
The name rang a bell, and when I got back after popping around to yours earlier, I actually looked up the author, and I'm surprised that there's nothing there that I recognise, and I'm not sure why. There's one that came out a couple of years ago.
The Watchers.
Yeah, and that reminds me of something. Now, it might just be that a similar story, similar title, somewhere down the line, but that rings a bell somewhere, and I can't quite place where from yet, and it's been doing my head in since I got home a couple of hours ago.
Oh, bless you.
What else have you got
then? Me trying to remember. We've got How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I've been reading that for a couple of months, but I've had to take little breaks because while the writing is absolutely fantastic and the story is amazing, it's so depressing. So I need little breaks to kind of break that up a bit.
Yeah, right now, lots of things are recommending me to read that book.
It's good. It's just I don't read it when your mental health is really low because it really fucks you up. Yeah,
that is one of the reasons why I will not be reading it.
Fair dues.
Especially after this month, and I have a suspicion that it will, degrade considerably.
Yeah. The joys.
I think I may have be overextending myself a little bit, but never mind.
Yeah, with the amount of books that you're going to be reading. Yeah.
I mean, I have a list, and then I have more on top of the list.
Yeah. The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. I bought 3 copies of accidentally.
Yes, I have one of them. I might read it this month.
I think you should.
Might read it this month.
And it
looks interesting because it's more that just glancing at it and reading it, that reads to me like what I would class as traditional horror.
I agree, which is what drew me to it originally.
Yeah, because you don't really get as much traditional horror.
You don't. Anymore. So I'm happy to kind of take a step back and get into that.
Yeah. Like a comfy pair of slippers with spiders in them.
Yes, with spiders in them. I think one of the books is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher.
That's just won a literary award. I can't speak.
English is
literary award.
Yeah.
The last few months as horror title of the year. I can't remember what the award was.
Okay.
Yeah, that saw that earlier. There's a few books on there that you won't agree with, though, but never mind. I did send it you.
You did. You did.
So,
Mm.
just for the reaction. I lost my pen. But,
So, what about you?
okay. So, when I buy books,
Here we go.
or when I buy anything,
Hmm.
the cover, I don't even read the blurb on the back half the time.
No, I have to read the blurb.
No, I go pretty cover. I used to do that now for all the young people listening.
So,
back in the day, when CDs were a thing, I would buy CDs, and a CD is a round metal disc.
Wait, do not patronize my my community.
I'm not, but
we know what CDs are.
I mean, they'd been phasing out when you were.
No, they weren't. They came.
11.
No, CDs and DVDs came in around that time.
They didn't.
No, because I'm pretty sure cassette was still a thing.
Yes, it was still a thing. It was dead media by that point. Anyway. I should know. I'm older than you.
You are quite old, much older than me.
But I buy things because pretty or interesting at any rate.
Yeah.
So. And then also, occasionally TikTok happens. Painfully, as the case has been in one of the ones we're going to talk about this month, which you are going to read, whether you like it or not.
God, no.
So, I mean, the whistling, I may or may not get round to it. I will read that at some point.
You've just got a lot of books on your plate right now.
I do. One that will probably not happen this month, which we're both going to be reading, is from esteemed literary author Chuck Tingle, the author of such well-known titles as, I can't remember any of them off the top of my head, but they're an experience.
I got pounded by my own butt. I think it's one of them. And yeah, I had sex with the social media icon Twitter bird.
Yeah, or not pounded by anything, which sounds like my life. But anyway, Ardy's broken. But he is actually releasing his first serious, inverted commas, novel called Camp Damascus, which comes out about the 20th of July.
Yeah, and we've actually pre-ordered that.
Yes, so I believe yours is going to arrive first, because Amazon hates me, apparently.
Yep.
But that probably won't sneak into this month, but that's one that I'm really excited for, just in general, which is a horror story based around a gay conversion camp in America.
Mm-hmm.
So straight away, you don't need to add any horror elements to that, first of all, but really interested to see where that one goes.
Same.
So there's a few books, there's two I've already ran through, which the reviews will be dropping on like the 2nd and the 4th, I think. So the first one came out in about the 20th of June, actually. It's not been out very long. And it's what I class as what I think of as horror automatically is slasher horror, because when I was a teenager, that's when Scream was coming out for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, slasher's been around a lot longer than that, but that kind of satirized and reignited the horror genre in many regards, because it had gone through like all things, it'd gone through the lapse cycle.
Yeah.
And it sort of brought it back. And it's called You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. Which is, first of all, it's a beautiful blood red cover. So I don't know if it's going to...
Yeah, I've been seeing this everywhere, and I've been wanting to read that.
I will lend it to you. It's pretty good.
Really?
Actually, yeah, it's pretty good. I thought it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. It was a bit more complicated than I expected it to be.
Okay.
It had some elements that are very ripped from Scream in particular, and you will see, once you get to the end of the book, you will clearly see the influences there. But there's a bit more nuance in there as well, and a few sharp turns that I didn't quite expect, and some of them I probably should have done, actually. And the second one I've already read.
Oh, yes.
Psychic Teenage Bloodbath. Now, this thing, by Carl John Lee, came out October last year, so just before Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 208 pages. I didn't know you could fit so much gore into 208 pages. The term painting the town red is literal for this. This is self-described on the cover as an extreme horror novel. And I thought, how bad can it be? Then the foreword also warned what it was like. And I continued to go, how bad can it be? And wow. Wow. I didn't realise splatterpunk was a genre. Yeah, that's one I've read. That's a bit outside my wheelhouse.
What do you think of splatterpunk then?
It's not for me.
No.
I mean, we both know I'm not into
gore,
body horror.
Yeah.
Or gore. Gore I can do sometimes. I think it's one of those things that can work better in a cult film.
God, yeah, absolutely. Like Brain Dead.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Oh, I will. That'll have to be one of the movie nights that we do.
Oh, please don't.
It's so good.
Yeah. So there are two that I've read already. Both relatively short as well. I think You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight is only about 300 pages. And actually, that's one thing I will say. A lot of the horror books tend to be on the shorter side.
Yes.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
On a side point.
Because if you make it bigger than that, that's so much stuff that you're going to have to basically fill in.
Yeah. I've just disappeared one of my tabs, so I can't remember what it was called. So the one I'm reading right now, I have a suspicion this is going to class more as a sci-fi, in all honesty, although its top tag is horror. And it's called The Twisted Tree by Rachel Burge, which came out in 2018. There is a follow-up to this, and it's a young adult novel with a bit of a Nordic inspiration, like ghost story part Nordic thriller is how it's been described.
Okay, yeah, but ghosts goes hand in hand with horror. You know, there's different kinds that we've talked about.
Perfect for fans of Coraline, which I've never read Coraline. Have seen the stop motion animation that came out a few years back.
I've not.
Oh, it's a weird.
That's the one with the button eyes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that freaks me out.
If I remember correctly, Coraline is Neil Gaiman. Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
So it's no great surprise that it's completely off the wall. To be fair, so that's one I'm reading. That's again 250 pages, a short one. Then I have The Changeling by Victor Laval. Now, I read one of his books, Ballad of Black Tom, which was technically a horror.
Yeah,
I think.
It's kind of like a cosmic sort of horror because it's based off
it's
Red Hook by Lovecraft.
Yeah, it's a reimagining from a different point of view of one of the sort of minor characters, I think, as I understand it. And it was a difficult read.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, but it was a really, really good book. And I mean, in D&D, I like playing a changeling. So, and this appears to have some interesting inspirations, shall we say? So
I bet.
That's actually probably the only one I'd class as a inverted commas full-length novel that I'm going to be looking at. It's also the one I'm slightly most worried about reading because the other one was such a hard book to read. And it was quite short, Ballad of Black Tom. I think it was 200 pages. This is nearly 500. It's a chunk. So, there's that one. And then, I think this is the only other one that I've said I'm definitely going to read. Probably isn't. Another new release, it only came out about a week ago. The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
I've not heard of that one.
Sager. Okay, so basically there was a load of murders back in 1929.
Yeah.
And it's now 1983. And from what I can tell, it's going to be like a haunted house story, I suspect.
Ooh, okay.
So, just at a quick glance through it, I get House on Haunted Hill vibes from it.
Okay.
Which may or may not be a good thing considering my previous issues. But they're the ones I'm definitely reading. I mean, I keep adding more stuff to my list.
You need to stop.
I do need to stop because if I read through my entire list, that's going to be like 18 books.
Yeah.
In July, which may be pushing it even for me. So
yes.
So although I will probably finish my third book today. So that's the first 3 done pretty quickish. And they're all quite short. And a lot of the books I've looked at on top of that are on the shorter side as well. So, but I've tried to pick like all different ones as well. Something a bit more traditional.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more folklore inspired, which is what the Twisted Tree seems to be as well, because folklore fascinates me. But just something a bit different, because I'm very much stuck in a fantasy rut. I have been for years.
Yeah.
I tried to get out of that a little bit. He says, looking at all the fantasy books that he's already got. Because I'm a magpie, apparently.
You are.
But we're not just doing books, are we?
No, we're also doing some streams of horror games too. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about. I was a bee in the bathroom.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I got it out. That's why I took me to. I was like, I managed to open the window and just waft my arms very manly to get it out. But yeah, we are both on Twitch, and we are going to be streaming some horror games as well.
Yes. Now, some of those are going to be co-op.
Yes, most of them.
So, in case you want to see people fail at games, which I do on a regular basis, we have been playing through the Dark Pictures anthology.
We have.
But we've only got the last one to go now, which is
The Devil in Me, or something like that. Yeah.
So that's going to be fun, because so far we don't really have a particularly high survival rate.
No, only because of you, because A, you kill everyone, and B, you stabbed me in the back by shooting me in the back. When it became an option, you were like, yeah, sure.
I mean, I also shot your helicopter with...
You did! And then you killed a person.
I killed a lot of people.
You did.
It's the first time I actually got quick time events right.
Thanks for killing me.
You're welcome. So that's one we are hoping to do. We both need to pick up the game.
Yes.
One I want to see you play, which you haven't got yet. The updated Layers of Fear. I
love the Layers of Fear games, so I do need it. I've not watched anyone play it because I want to have my own new open-eyed experience with it.
Yes. The only thing I have heard, which there's no spoilers in this.
Okay.
Is the fact that the original Layers of Fear, because it's multiple banded together in it, I believe.
Yeah, because you play an artist, and then the second one is you play his daughter.
Yeah. So, and I think there's a third part as well, I believe. Could be wrong.
I'm not sure about that one.
But there's 3 bits that they've put, or maybe they've made this last bit specifically. I'm not sure. The first game's ported especially well, and seems to have had all the love put into it. Not so much on the second one. But I have played Layers of Fear.
I like Layers of Fear, apart from the dolls.
And I remember talking to you about it because it made me jump twice in the whole thing, and you were like, what?
Yeah, like, it's not a jumpy game, it's kind of like a bit of a mindfuck in a way. But I remember, like, anything that just is when I turn around and something's in my face where it wasn't before, it makes me jump, and that happens numerous times in the game, and you were just like, oh, okay. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, the only one that got me was the fireplace with all the furniture sort of...
Yeah.
That got me.
No, the dolls. Yeah. I don't like dolls.
No, you don't. The other one that we will be playing, cooperatively though.
Yes, please don't mess me up for lunch 10.
Is The Quarry.
Yes, I'm excited about that. I've had it for a while, but I've not played it. So I want to play it with someone. You
had some issues when you first tried to single play it, didn't you? You didn't vibe off it very well.
No, I think it does better as co-op, so that's why I played a little bit at the beginning, didn't get far, and I was like, no, it's better with friends.
Now, full disclaimer for this one, I will be playing this on PlayStation. I never play on controller for anything.
That's true.
Just on principle. So that's going to be an experience, because I'm going to muck everything up on that. And Noah's going to die. So, look, let's be honest, if I'm going to muck up, it's when it's your life at stake on it, not mine.
That's true. Yeah, I don't have a comeback for that.
Yeah.
We can try. I can try though. I can try.
Yeah. But are there any other games that you're playing? Oh,
Uh,
yes, there is.
one that I've played numerous times that I love is Bendy and the Ink Machine. I class that as a little bit of a horror game.
Yes, and after you stream that, probably not on the same day,
You'll be
I
doing the
have,
second one.
yeah, I have Bendy and the Dark Revival, which is, I know nothing. I know what Bendy looks like. That is the total amount of information I have about Bendy in the universe, and my kids like it,
It's
which
so
worries
messed
me a
up.
little bit.
It's so messed up.
Yeah.
Another one I'll be doing, unfortunately, will be episode 2 of was it Poppy Playtime?
I can't wait for that.
I hate Poppy Playtime. It scares the.
We need to make sure all your clippers are out and about for that one,
Yeah.
because there's going to be some juicy stuff when
The
you're
thing
playing
is,
that.
though, is I don't do well with games where I have to run and I can't defend myself or I have to hide. That freaks me out.
Outlast.
Yes, Outlast I don't do well with.
I do.
I like Outlast Trials is good.
Oh, that's good. I do have Outlast.
You should play that.
I have never played it.
You should play it. The
I think
story is good.
Hmm.
I just can't do it myself.
No. So what else? Oh, I've just remembered one of the ones I was going to play. Ooh, we'll come to that in a minute. So I'm going to play an Amnesia game.
Yes.
I don't know which one.
Okay.
Oh God, I look more ginger. What you do normally.
I'm blonde.
So I do have all of them. I also have Soma.
Ooh, I would like to see you play that.
So, but I do have the Bunker, which is the new one.
Ooh.
So, although it's already tried to give me tinnitus once because it's so bloody loud when the bombs are dropping, but I will decide closer to the time which of those I'm going to have a look at.
Okay.
And I thought I'd do one that's a little bit out of left field, and I can't find it now. I'll find it in a minute.
What was that one that I sent you a link to on TikTok about? It's co-op and they're like going underwater.
I can't remember what it's called.
We should do that.
I don't think that's out yet.
It is.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it out and about.
It's gonna bug me this because I can't see. I had it in front of me a second ago. I think you should play Doki Doki Literature Club.
You're not the first to say that, and I'm unsure.
It's free.
I've got it installed on Steam.
Yeah, so do I. I might hit Fears of Fathom episode 3.
Ooh, yes, please.
Because I died in the second one. That actually made me jump.
That was so much fun.
I got clipped and I clipped it. Yeah. We could also do Forewarned at some point, to be fair.
Okay. I'm good. I'm down with that. I understand a lot about now with Forewarned.
I don't understand anything. I just ended up very confused. I can't think what this other one is. And it's going to bug me. Because I was looking at it earlier. Have I installed it? No. Really bugging me. I need to go back to Bram the Toy Maker at some point as well. Which I streamed a few months ago.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's had a few
updates.
So's Might, actually. So okay. I'm wondering if that's actually developed gameplay yet. But that was bitchy, Neil. So it's absolutely hammering it down.
Not here. I know I'm only down the road from you, but it's not here yet.
Yeah. So I don't know what this is.
Okay.
You know what I'm like for finding these very obscure games.
Yes.
So, which I don't even know why I picked this up. Looking up, I see only ceiling. So I'm gonna shoot a quick link over to you for that one, so you can have a look at it, because this is very much in the Pony Island mold.
Oh yes, yes, you sent me this before.
Yes, I thought I had. So I'm going to play that because I've tried about 10 minutes of it and gone, I don't understand. I don't know what this is. This is a little bit creepy. So I'm going to look at that one as well. And I might also do Bramble the Mountain King.
Yes, please, because that's one I've been looking up. I may get as well. It
Yeah.
looks amazing. I love that it's all based on like fairy tale sort of stuff and folklore.
Yes.
Nordic, I believe. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I think it is, which actually touching on that is an interesting thing because although I don't think it classes as a horror title, but there's a game that I picked up a few months ago that I've not played for a while that's fairy tale inspired, and I can't think what it's called, which is going to really wind me up. I'll see if I can spot that as well while I'm thinking. I've got far too many games to spot it probably. But it was the story of your Baba Yaga, basically.
Yes, yeah, we've talked about that. It does look really
Blacktail.
good. You're the sister of
Yes.
Baba Yaga. Yeah.
Yes. So Blacktail. I did have some issues performance-wise with that. That actually nearly bricked my CPU at one point.
Oh wow.
On stream as well. So that was an experience.
I bet.
But and I'm sure there's plenty of other horror games that we will probably get round to at some point this month. One that, and I know I've already said this isn't horror, but I think you should play because I ain't doing it. Alien Isolation.
That is a horror. I've tried playing it before, and I'm not good with stealth games, and the androids freak me out.
So I have tried to play this.
I got up to the androids and they kept killing me because I was just screaming covering my face.
I didn't even make it to the androids.
Oh.
Because the atmosphere is that good. I can't believe that's such an old game now at this point as well.
It's done well.
It's a good example for how you should actually make a game.
Well,
because
atmospheric.
It still looks amazing. Nearly 10 years old.
That's mental.
It's 2014, and I still think it's one of the better looking horror games out there.
Fair dues.
Well, that's on the game side of things. Idiot here had another idea.
Oh god, what is this other idea?
So we play Dungeons and Dragons, Noah.
Yeah, we do.
From time to time. Eventually we'll start streaming it again.
Yeah.
Once we're in a bit more settled group. But I had an idea. I had a dream. And that dream was, what if horror one-shot? Now, there are plenty out and about. But there's one that's quite notorious in the D&D community. And it's called The Tomb of Horrors, which was actually released in 1st edition.
So it's going to be hard.
It's hard. It has been ported. Now, I have heard some criticism of the port. Now, full disclosure, I will not be playing the entire Tomb of Horrors because I don't have 12 hours to run through it. Not that people will survive that long. So I'll be pulling elements from that and Strixhaven as well. And we'll be doing Strixhaven Summer Camp at the back end of the month.
I love that.
Which I will be running. Which will be an experience because I haven't run a D&D game for a while at this point.
I'm excited.
And the last one I ran was horror themed as well. It
was so good. It was so good.
So that's putting a group together for that. That will, I think, about the 23rd-ish. No. Yes. Either 23rd or 30th. It might be the last thing we do this month, actually.
Okay.
So, but I think the plan is to stream that one.
You are correct.
So, which will be on the RPGs Like to Party Twitch channel. And then hopefully Noel will remember to save the video this time. And because things had changed in your settings and you didn't realise. And it'll get posted over to the YouTube channel as well.
That it will.
But looking forward to that. Yeah, that's going to be fun because nobody in our group other than, well, John. Has John done? Yeah, John's done it. Infa. And you have, but assuming it's the normal crew that are going to be playing, that's a very different DM style to what they're used to yours.
Yeah, but I like the differences that we have, so...
it'll be interesting to see how many people die at door one.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it. It's a genuine question to see how many people survive. But how often are you going to get your reviews up then? How regularly are you aiming for?
Because I know that I haven't had done them up as regularly as I said I would because I was going through some stuff personally.
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
And then you had a reading slump that coincided with that, and then decided to read a depressing book while in a reading slump and depressed, which is always a good choice.
Mm-hmm. Learned my lesson.
Yeah, you don't do that. You read happy books.
Yep, learned that.
But
which is why we're reading horror.
Yeah, because we love ourselves so much.
So much.
Every night.
That
was cut that, please.
No, that's staying in.
God help everybody. But yeah, and I've no doubt at some point this month we'll probably go and see a horror film, and we might even discuss that as well. Actually, that'd be something a bit different.
I would like that.
So, yeah. So lots of things planned for this month. Don't know how we're going to get through it all.
No.
Oh, and the podcast is coming back. Now I've finished having my little tiff with
excited.
With the world. So that will go up back end of the month as well. We'll probably record it about midpoint of the month or 3/4 of the way through. And that'll probably be the last thing to go up. And I suspect we're going to have a gather up video at the end of the month to see how we've done as well.
Absolutely.
So, lots of stuffs. All the stuffs. All the scary stuffs.
Yes.
But we haven't told anyone where to actually find this stuff.
No. So would you like to tell them yours first?
No. Because I don't remember my own handles.
So
it'll be Ven's Corner on Twitch and Ven's Corner on YouTube.
Yes.
Are the two main for me. I will probably drop any gameplay videos that I record because I've got some other little bits that I might do that aren't going to be streams. They will probably go onto the Ven's Corner channel as well because I removed my gaming channel in a fit of irritation not that long ago.
You did.
So, which may not have been a good choice in hindsight, but never mind.
That's all good.
We can do all the things. And your stuff?
Well, I mean, here in between the lines, and on Twitch it is Noseberry. Yeah. And RPGs like to party.
There we go. All the links, I have no doubt, will be put in.
They will be below.
I are very professional editor here. Yes.
Not professional at all.
I mean, I'm just thinking the last time you did editing for us. That I did 3 months later because you just didn't do it.
Alright. Don't call me out, thanks.
Not to call you out at all.
No, not at all, not at all. I see how it is, bitch.
I mean, gosh. I start doing that. But, yeah, I'm not sure excited is the right word.
I am.
But I'm curious to see where this month leaves me by the end of it, because I think I might have to have some sort of wholesome August reading list after this.
Oh, that's really cute.
So I need to find a better title for it, because I know what's coming in September. So
it's going to be good.
More bad choices.
Right. Well, let's end it there.
Yes. Yes, we should.
Ooh. Be good.
Always.
Make good life choices and good decisions.
Catch you all in the next month.
Yeah, catch you later. Bye.